What's going on, guys? It's Kyle with DTOM Knives and Gear, and today I have a really super cool unboxing to share with you. You might see in the description, this is the EMP EDC Nymble. This knife was yet another one that Lefty EDC messaged me, Jake, and a couple other guys saying, hey, this is a cool pre-order, yet really nice materials for the price. I think this was around $250 in the pre-order. They actually are live right now. So I'll have all of his information and stuff down below where you can go check it out. But I think it's around $279. Don't quote me on all those prices because it's been a while. This is about 3 months or so I've been waiting on this. And I'm really excited because other people have already received these and have really said high things about them, or high praise. So let's get into it. We are going to be using the F5.5, a gift from Kevin Lefty EDC. This is one of my favorite smaller knives. You guys know me, I like the big stuff. This is a smaller knife, but it has a lot of cool features that I'm really excited about. And so let's get into this. Comes in just this right here. Took a while to get here. USPS sucks major, big fat dickety. Ooh, they just really pissed me off. Anyway, here is the box and the logo. Really cool. Let's see, is it a magnetic? Yeah, magnetic closure. Let's get into it. You have three really cool stickers. Wow. There we go. EMP EDC with the logos. That's really cool. Really cool also, in the box you have your certificate of authenticity, which is this guy. You can see there, this is the Nymble. The blade seal is M390, which I'm very excited about. Date of birth is June 2021, and this is serial number 19. So these are a first production run and serialized. Here is the knife, and yes, it is small, but I went with this really cool frag and bronze pattern. They have another, or he has another model, which is just kind of like a blasted tie with blue accents. This one is definitely more up my alley. I really dig these colors. And so this is what I went with. Yeah, so it's pretty small, okay? It's a smaller knife, but it has features that I like in a smaller knife, and we're gonna try this out. So one of the reasons that I did want to try this is because it has multiple deployment methods, and so it's going to be fidgety. But it's going to be fidgety only if the detent is right. So it's very difficult in manufacturing of any knife, if you have multiple deployment methods, to get the detent right where it works with all of them, right? It's not easy. So the first way I'm going to deploy this knife is going to be the reverse flick, because that's how I love to deploy knives. So it sits in my hand like this, still very small. Feels really good on that flick. Ooh. Oh yeah, action right out of the box is really nice. Flicks out like a dream. So the detent on the flick feels good, but I say, you know, that Kevin Lefty EDC where you get it right there and then see if it actually flicks. Like it did kind of well that time, but the detent is a little light because I can take it and push it out. That's okay. The reason that that's okay on this knife is because it's still strong enough for me to flick this thing out, but it has two other deployment methods. A Vero style flipper, was what I call it, just because that's the first place that I saw this particular style, and a front flipper. Let's go ahead and try the regular flipper. That feels really good. So I'm pulling straight down like you should on this particular design, and it has enough leverage just to whack that thing out there. Yeah, super smooth on the dead gun deployment. So what about the front flipper? Oh, so the front flipper works good, but what I did was I have my hand right up here, right? And so whenever you do the front flipper, this flipper has to go back. And so I got to make sure I don't have my hand all the way up here. Yes! So this thing is going to be fidgety as hell. That really makes me happy. I love multiple deployment methods on a knife. This is definitely a secondary size knife for me, but let's see what it feels like in the hand. Okay, so the backed up grip. You have very small area for the backed up grip, and yeah, it's a 3-fingered knife for me. I cannot get 4 fingers on this knife in the backed up grip, and because of that, I'm never going to hold it in that grip because I just don't like having only 3 fingers on it. But you'll notice that it does have a finger choil. Let's see what that finger choil feels like. So with the finger choil, I've got room right here, my fat fingers, but I mean, it's not like Kevin, he said he had almost too much room, but my fat fingers fit in there just absolutely amazingly, and then I can wrap these 4 fingers around it. This feels really good. These are the kind of ergos that I like on almost all knives, but especially the smaller knives. Now, as you can see, this blade is not very long, and especially with the cutting edge, I think you have 2.5 inches or something. We'll do full review and specs and stuff, later on, but as far as ergonomically, I really like it. Also like that the jimping is super long. That way when I am choked up, my thumb still lands on that jimping. I love it. Love this design so far. I love the blade shape. It's kind of funky looking, right? But it's the spear point leaf shape kind of blade shape that I really enjoy. The opening hole is a hole and a slot, as you can see there. And I'm actually digging that. It's the peel shaped, but I can just, it's so easy and intuitive for me to just put my finger in there and go. Let's see what it feels like left-handed. I can see what Lefty's talking about. Lefty has gotten this before me, and so I can definitely feel it's still very doable, but I can actually feel it being a little bit stronger of a detent because of me putting my finger there on the lock bar, which feels amazing. So yeah, Lefty liked it. So you lefties out there, it is only a tip up right hand carry. You can't reverse this pocket clip, but the pocket clip looks really cool. I love this color. Good God Almighty, I love this color combo. Frag pattern, very ergonomic, very comfortable, but it does provide grip. This is made by QSP. QSP has done a really good job for the knives that I have had that are made by them. They're really knocking it out of the park. Lock bar insert, M390, full titanium, and just a fun little knife. I'm very, very happy that Kevin convinced me to go ahead and put this in for the pre-order, and very stoked to have it. With a knife with all these deployment methods, the detent has to be correct, otherwise they won't all be fun. This one, all of them are fun. I can totally see myself playing with this and driving people crazy at work. Now, if you're listening, I think his name is John over at EMP EDC. I think. I could be wrong about that too. If you're listening, buddy, we need an XL version of this knife because that would be epic. This particular design in a bigger, which he's a EDC knife kind of guy. This is a great EDC knife. It feels pretty lightweight and all that. Really cool. Look at that logo on the pivot there. It is a D-shaped pivot, so it's a captive pivot. The only thing is yes, that we do have some T6s. Maybe on the next run of these, he might could bump that up to T8s because we all like T8s better than T6s. But the color of this is awesome. I am really, really excited, and I think a lot of people. are gonna dig this. If you have the opportunity to go to his website, go down below, go to his Instagram, and I would highly recommend picking this up, even though I can't give you my full review yet because this is just a first impressions. But first impressions wise, I am really liking this guy, and I'm very happy because I really did have high hopes for this whenever I first saw it and was waiting on it. I was like, man, if QSP did this right, this design is really nice for a EDC backup style knife for me, which is still, I can still carry it for a primary. In my everyday task, oh yeah, this will definitely do the things that I need it to do. It is a full flat, oh, I'm sorry, not a full flat grind. It is a high saber grind with a flat up top, swedge on the top of the blade. It feels pretty thin behind the edge just because we have it out here. I don't usually do this. Let's just see what it slices through a very thin sliced piece of paper. Oh. Are you seeing this? You see it? I saw Kevin do it, and it is that way for me too. Good God Almighty. This thing This thing slices really, really nice. That's awesome. Blade geometry seems to be really, really nice just because we have it out here. Don't usually do cardboard. Yeah, I'm stoked, guys. I really am. You know, if he's got some available and you've got the extra money, I don't think you would be dissatisfied, first impressions wise. I'm going to carry this for a week and let you know how it carries, because we still haven't put it in pocket, even though I like the way the pocket clip carries. And then, oh, cool, there is my number 19, if I can get it. Boom. I'm not sure how many knives were in this initial pre-order run. But 19 is a pretty low number, because, I mean, he would probably have to do at least a minimum of 250 to 300 pieces. So I'm really, really excited about this. Action is just, oh, I mean, it's a very small blade, so it's not going to fall shut like a guillotine, but that is so super smooth. Bearings feel awesome. How is our centering? Centering is good. If it's anything, it might be off to the show side, but barely. Oops, didn't get it down in there. My lockup is solid. No movement left, right, up, or down. The lockup looks to be solid as well. Golly. Access to it. You see the cutout there, so you have that part. I don't have any problem getting this lock bar out of the way. Do I have a little bit? There is tiny bit of lock stick, but I've already seen Kevin Lefty EDC's first impression video of this, and that's already gone in his. So I am assuming that will probably be the case for this guy. Getting it, you know, playing with it all a bunch and getting that lock bar kind of broken in. Ooh, I'm really excited. This is a really nice little knife. As far as a small knife is concerned, I am really, really digging this. I like the fact that it is, you know, it's not ambidextrous, you know, with a pocket clip or whatever, but it seems to me that this knife can be, you know, manipulated right or left-handed pretty easily in any. Ooh, that one kind of sounded bad. The lock stick, why was it on the left side? Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of lock stick. It almost felt worse. It's probably because of my I'm just not used to actually using my left hand. But there is lock stick on this, guys. But I am expecting that to go away. We'll obviously keep you updated on that whenever I do my full review in a week, because Kevin said his went away. Okay, flipping it like this, lock. I mean, it still looks to be the same as far as centered. It almost felt like for a second, and feels like the more I flick this. Let's see. Let's check the actual pivot and see if we are tight, loose, whatever. So, okay. It feels like there is Loctite in this for sure. I'm going to give it a good snug. Yeah, because it definitely was not tight all the way. So let's tighten it down all the way. Okay, so that actually made it not near as smooth. Still flicks. The lock stick, though, the lock stick is actually becoming worse. All right, let's back this off some. So I'm going to back it off. I mean, it's tight, the threads. Like when you break it loose, it doesn't just come loose. So there's obviously Loctite in there. Oh. Yeah, see, all right. So I'm doing this, and the scales are kind of coming apart when I'm loosening the knife. That, I think, is causing the issue. If I tighten it all the way without actually cranking on it, yeah, it's gonna need some tuning. The lock stick is actually getting worse. You hear that? So I'll have to see about that, and I can contact EMP EDC to ask him about that, because he is such a cool dude. I've already talked to him on Instagram and whatnot. So if there is any issues, all we have to do is talk to him. because it's definitely not as smooth as it was. It falls, but it's not as smooth on the close after doing that. So I'm going to have to play with it, because once I loosen this, I can actually see the scales go like this. And that's definitely not what we want. You hear this? Yeah, it's getting worse. The lock stick is getting worse. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I will keep you guys updated. Yeah. All right, guys. So I had to stop the video. I did the unboxing and whatnot, and then in that unboxing, I kind of said that there was a little bit of something going on with the knife. And so before I posted that video, I wanted to just take the knife apart and see what was going on. Because whenever I first got the knife, it had some lock stick, but the detent was good and all. All I wanted to do really was try to see about the pivot being loose or tightened to see if that action could get a little bit better. And when I did that, I noticed that whenever I was taking this pivot screw out, as I was coming out, it was pretty tight. And what was happening was as I was screwing it out, the scales would actually start to spread with it. So there was something like kind of kinked in there. And after I initially did this video, I contacted EMP EDC, and then I also contacted my buddy Kevin, Lefty EDC, because he'd already taken the knife apart and was asking them some questions. And basically the terminology was, you know what, let's just take it apart, look at it, put it back together. That's exactly what I did. It was very easy to take apart. As I was pushing this out, the reason I was getting worse lock sticks because it was spreading that out and I didn't take it all the way. Now this thing is absolutely money. The detent is awesome. The centering is awesome. It actually has no lock stick now at all. And so it was just something going on. Something was tweaked. And guys, this is a one-man shop. He got these knives in from Riyadh. He was assembling and tuning them all. And everybody that I know who has got one of these comes out of the box like perfect. Might have a tad bit of lock stick, but it works itself out in like a day. This one I don't even know what it was. I disassembled it. Everything looked good, reassembled it, and now I have a knife that feels freaking amazing. So I didn't want to just post that video and kind of leave everybody hanging as like what was going on. It really wasn't anything going on. It was just something, whenever they were putting it together, when it just kind of maybe snagged or something, because I didn't find any problems in this knife when I took it apart, and now that I put it back together, it's absolutely amazing. So I'm really looking forward to getting this knife in pocket and carrying it a while, because it is seriously a fidget like magnet. I mean, this thing is so much fun to play with all of its deployment methods. I'm really having a good time with it. So anyways, that was really it. I just took the knife apart, put it back together, and now it's freaking perfect. So I don't know anybody else who has had that problem. When I was talking to EMP EDC, he was trying to figure out what I was talking about, because I'm not very good at explaining things. So I was trying to explain to him what was going on, and he was like, yeah, I've never had that issue. He was very nice and whatnot. I did reach back out to him and say, hey man, I just took the knife apart, put it back together, and now it's working like it's supposed to. So yeah, he's a really good guy. And if I didn't feel like taking this apart, he would have said, hey, just send it back, let him look at it. But there was no point, because it went, all right, disassembled very easy and went back together very easy. I really love the pivot design because it's a captive pivot. I really like that. There's still a lot of knives out there that do not have that. There are spinning pivots, and I can't stand that really. This one was just a freaking dream to take apart and put back together. So anyways, I wanted to kind of put this in that original video to let you know that this thing is absolutely money now, and that John was really cool whenever I messaged him on Instagram about the situation. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead, put this in pocket, carry it for about a week, and then do the full review of this guy coming up soon. I really appreciate you stopping by, and stay safe in this crazy world that we are living in, and we will see you in the next one.